day, grades and learners! Welcome to our first lesson in English, Quarter 1. That is, using information from a text listened to, where, at the end of the lesson, you are expected to identify the various sources of information and write an informative speech based on the given news report. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Read each question carefully, then write the letter of the word or words that is are described in each statement. Choose your answer from the box below. Number 1. It is a factual information that is usually found in the newspapers. Its main purpose is to inform the readers of what is happening in the country and in the whole world. The answer is letter C, news report. Number 2. This is a kind of talk that provides information and educates the audience on a specific topic. The answer is letter B, informative talk. Number 3. To obtain information, you listen carefully to President Rodrigo R. Duterte's State of the Nation address. What is the source of your information? The answer is letter A, speech. Number 4. It used typically at a scientific, business, or academic conference, fan conventions, and on television shows. The answer is letter D, panel discussion. Number 5. This talk is presented to persuade or convince the audience to learn, to understand, and to remember information. The answer is letter A, speech.
This time, mag-review naman tayo. We all know that anything that gives information on a person about something or providing knowledge to somebody is called a source of information. Marami tayong pwedeng pagkuhaan ng information o ng kaalaman na maaari nating magamit sa pang-araw-araw nating pamumuhay. And the source may come from observations, speeches, documents, news, pictures, organization, and even on daily conversations. At marami pang iba. Dahil sa panahon ngayon, sadyang naging mas lalo tayong naging resourceful. And as our world becomes dynamic, people tend to rely on different sources of information. And these sources can be in printed forms such as newspapers, magazines, encyclopedias, and dictionary. Today, the use of television, radio, social media platforms is necessary to get the information even on the internet. It makes us knowledgeable and be able to share and exchange authentic data with others. Our lesson for today is being connected with the world through these various sources of information. Are you connected with the world? What is currently almost happening worldwide? That's right, pandemic. Pandemic is still affecting the people worldwide. Alam natin ang impormasyon na ito, gayon din ang tungkol sa COVID-19 at ang bagong variant or nagsulputang variants nito. We are able to have knowledge about it because the information was brought to us by a source.
At isa nga sa pinakapopular na paraan to disseminate o ihatid ang information ay through news o pagbabalita, as it is a packaged information about new events happening somewhere else. It can also be through speech that persuades or convinces the audience into the topic being talked about. Ang mga taong nag-i-engage sa pagpapahayag ay kadalasang hindi lang upang magbigay ng impormasyon, but also para makumbinsi ang mga nakikinig na umayon sa kanyang sinasabi. Oftentimes, it is also through informative talks, where it informs an audience about something without being persuasive. Marami tayong natututunan o nalalamang information sa pakikinig natin sa isang nagsasalita, kung saan ang tanging niya lamang layunin ay magbigay ng kaalaman. Well, occasionally, it is through a panel discussion din, wherein there is a live or virtual discourse about a specific topic among the selected group of panelists. Sa panel discussion, may isang topic na pinag-uusapan, kung saan ang bawat panelist o miyembro na kasama ay magbibigay ng kanyang nalalaman hinggil sa paksa. Through that, listeners are able to get information.
O, diba? Marami tayong pwedeng pagkuhaan ng knowledge o ng information. Bigyang pansin natin ang isa sa mga ito, ang news o balita. News is always based on reality o totoong ganap o naganap. As such, there are essential factors attached to it. First, news must be factual and interesting. Kung ang isang pangyayari o balita ay gawa-gawa lamang o hindi totoo, tinatawag itong fake news. Interesting naman ang isang balita kung ito ay napapanahon at kakaibang pangyayari. Then, news must also have a number of elements to make it interesting to the readers, like immediacy or timeliness. It tells the latest angle of the story. The newsworthy words today and tomorrow characterize the newest angle of the story. And then we have the proximity. It refers not only to geographic nearness, but also to interest nearness. Geographic nearness means kung ang pinanggalingan ng balita o pangyayari ay malapit sa kinaroroonan ng mambabasa o ng nakikinig, ito ay nagiging interesante sa kanya. Example, kung ikaw ay taga-Caloocan, mas interesado kang marinig ang balita o mga pangyayaring nagaganap sa Caloocan kesa sa ibang lugar sa bansa, tama? On the other hand, interest nearness means ang nilalaman ng balita ay katulad o malapit sa interes ng mambabasa o ng listeners. Halimbawa, kung ang balita ay may kinalaman sa COVID-19 at ikaw na nagbabasa o nakikinig ng balitang ito ay isang doktor, then that news becomes interesting to you. There are other elements that make the story interesting, such as prominence. It is related to a well-known person, place, or event. Also, the oddity or unusualness. Is there something different or unusual? A never-heard place, things, or anything? After having learned the elements of news, which of them do you think could give you interest to read or listen to it?
Now that you learned the different sources of information, especially the news, let us have this activity. Listen attentively to an excerpt of a news report. Take note of important information you have listened to. Write your notes on your notebook. Ready?
Exactly 100 days have passed since the first confirmed COVID-19 case was announced in the Philippines on January 30, 2020, with a 38-year-old female from Wuhan tested positive for the novel coronavirus. On that same day, the World Health Organization, or WHO, in Geneva, Switzerland, raised to the highest level the health alert by declaring COVID-19 as a public health emergency of international concern. The Philippine government mounted a multi-sectoral response to COVID-19 through the Interagency Task Force, or IATF, on emerging infectious diseases chaired by the Department of Health. Through the National Action Plan on COVID-19, the government aims to contain the spread of COVID-19 and mitigate its socio-economical impacts. The government then implemented various actions, including a community quarantine in Metro Manila, which expanded to Luzon as well as other parts of the country, expanded its testing capacity from one national reference laboratory with the Research Institute of Tropical Medicine, or RITM, to 23 licensed testing laboratories across the country, work toward ensuring that its healthcare system can handle surge capacity, including financing of services and management of cases needing isolation, quarantine, and hospitalization, and address the social and economic impact to the community by providing social amelioration to low-income families. The World Health Organization has been working with ministries of health worldwide to prepare solutions as a response to COVID-19 problem. The World Health Organization office in the country has partnered with the Department of Health and subnational authorities to respond to the pandemic.
Now, supposing the news article you have just listened to is aired on TV. However, Benny's father, Mike, didn't have the chance to watch the news. Help Benny relay the information he got from the news to his father by completing the dialogue between father and son. For the next activity, using the topic or the subject on the news report you've just listened, write a short informative speech on the space provided to on your module. Be guided on the parts of informative speech. Remember, there are three major parts of writing an informative speech. First is the introduction. Introduction sets the tone of the entire speech. The introduction should be brief and to the point. You need to start solidly and launch the topic clearly. Sa madaling salita, sa part na to, bigyan na kagad natin ng ideya ang mga reader or listener kung saan patungkol ang essay or speech natin. Next is the body. The strategic organization helps increase the clarity and effectiveness of your speech. The body contains the bulk of information in your speech and needs to be clearly organized. Sa part naman na to, dito na natin iisa-isahin, isulat o isalaysay ang ating mga punto o ideya patungkol sa ating paksa. Ang pagsulat ng mga ideya ay kinakailangan ding organisado. Ibig sabihin, susuriin din natin ang kanilang connection sa isa't isa upang malaman natin kung anong impormasyon ang dapat nating iuna o dapat nating ihuli. And lastly, the conclusion. Conclusion should be brief and tight. Make clear distinctions, verbally and non-verbally, that you are now wrapping up the information and providing final comments about the topic.
Conclusion part gives us opportunity to sum up everything on our writing or on our speech. Dito natin sinusulat o sinasabi ang kabuuan ng nais nating sabihin tungkol sa topic. So, sa palagay ko ay handang-handa na kayong sumulat ng isang informative speech. As you write your speech, your work will be graded according to the following criteria: content, 40%, organization, 40%, choice of words, 20%, for a total of 100%.
Magaling grade 10 learners! Remember that in getting a reliable information, you need to check the accuracy of facts given before disseminating it to other people. There are various forms of platforms that can be sources of information, some of which are the following. News reports, a packaged information about new events happening somewhere else. News moves through many different media. It can be based on word of mouth, printing, broadcasting, and electronic communication. Next is speech. This is a communication or expression of thoughts in spoken words. This usually persuades the audience into the topic being talked about. And informative talks. This generally centers on talking about people, events, process, places, or things. It is informing the audience about one of these subjects without being persuasive. And last is the panel discussion. This is a specific format used in a meeting, conference, or a convention that is a live or virtual discussion about a specific topic amongst a selected group of panelists who share different perspectives in front of a large audience.
Now, let's check your understanding about our lesson today. Listen again to the news report, then answer the questions that will follow. Exactly 100 days have passed since the first confirmed COVID-19 case was announced in the Philippines on January 30, 2020, with a 38-year-old female from Wuhan tested positive for the novel coronavirus. On that same day, the World Health Organization, or WHO, in Geneva, Switzerland, raised to the highest level the health alert by declaring COVID-19 as a public health emergency of international concern. The Philippine government mounted a multi-sectoral response to COVID-19 through the Interagency Task Force, or IATF, on emerging infectious diseases chaired by the Department of Health. Through the National Action Plan on COVID-19, the government aims to contain the spread of COVID-19 and mitigate its socio-economical impacts. The government then implemented various actions, including a community quarantine in Metro Manila, which expanded to Luzon as well as other parts of the country, expanded its testing capacity from one national reference laboratory with the Research Institute of Tropical Medicine, or RITM, to 23 licensed testing laboratories across the country, worked toward ensuring that its healthcare system can handle surge capacity, including financing of services and management of cases needing isolation, quarantine, and hospitalization, and address the social and economic impact to the community by providing social amelioration to low-income families. The World Health Organization has been working with ministries of health worldwide to prepare solutions as a response to COVID-19 problem. The World Health Organization office in the country has partnered with the Department of Health and subnational authorities to respond to the pandemic. Good job, grade 10 learners! Now, for the last activity, match the words written from column A to its definition in column B. Write the letter of the answer on the space provided before each number on your module. Ready? Check your answers.
That ends our session. Congratulations and thank you so much, grade 10 learners, for the active participation you have shown today, and for accomplishing Quarter 1, Week 1 module. I hope you learned a lot from this week's lesson about using information from the text listened to. See you next time for our Quarter 1, Week 2 session. Goodbye! If you find this lesson helpful, like, share, and subscribe.